On Wednesday, the OSU golf team capped one of the best seasons in college history by dominating Alabama at Karsten Creek to win a national championship. Matthew Wolff, the clinching putt. And we have the championship trophy here in studio, hand-delivered by the head coach of the Cowboys, Alan Bratton. Coach, thanks for being here, making the drive over.
Thanks for having me on. You think you could run that replay again?
Wow. I noticed that you hang with Matthew Wolff. Now, all your guys are great. You even got guys on a bench that can really play. But you go out there with maybe the ace.
Well, it worked out that way this week. You know, each week we just try to figure out what's going to help the group play the best. And this week that was Donnie with Austin and me with Matt.
Yeah. The whole experience, the whole thing. I mean, you have the women's championship followed by the men. That's 2 weeks of tremendous golf on a course that just looked like it was in tip-top shape. Has it ever been in better shape than it was?
I don't think so. You know, and that's why we built Karsten Creek, was to host championships like this and put on a great show for all the world to see. And we did that, and our guys delivered.
You also had Scott Verplank, Bob Tway, and a bunch of others. How cool was that, and what do you think that did to your team?
Well, we talked to them about how they were standing on the shoulders of a lot of guys that had come before them, coaches and players, and it had to be unprecedented. We had someone there from every one of our championship teams, all 10. Somebody was there, so we can't thank those guys enough for being out there, and I really do think that helped put us over the top. Yeah.
So you beat Alabama you won all 5 matches in dominating that one. I know we have some video here, but Zach Boshu really kind of set the tone. I mean, you could say he wasn't the only, but here at 9, he holds out, and I know you heard the roars even though you weren't with him.
Yeah, I still haven't seen all of the broadcasts, but you can keep running that one too. I didn't find out until the post-game kind of interview deal that he had won 8 and 7, but Zach's a hell of a player, and he put on a good show.
Yeah, and you know, we could go through all 5 of them, but you know, Dean already mentioned you were with Matthew Wolff, your stud freshman there, with a unique backswing, but always gets it where he needs to get it. And you talk about the first hole in terms of setting a tone. He really did in his match, too.
He did. Victor birdied the first hole, first match out, and then Matt hit a 3-wood off the tee, then a 4-iron in there close, and sealed that hole with an eagle. So I was surprised the guy let him hit the putt. I thought he would give it to him to avoid the shot in the ears, but I'm sure glad he let him putt. Here it is.
Yeah, he sinks that. And then, of course, he gets the championship winner on 15.
Coach, I saw Austin Eckroat as a little guy playing golf, and quickly you could see that this guy was going to be big time. As a freshman, he makes your lineup and actually wins the first couple of matches. He was tremendous, wasn't he?
Yeah, what a thrill for an Oklahoma kid to get to be on that stage in front of family and friends. Really made for a special week.
Yeah, and he had a critical two-putt birdie on 18 against Texas A&M when everything looked like it might be going the other way in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and really the shot there was his approach.
Major from Edmond.
Close match, big shot into 18, crowd around, and he stepped up big.
I got to ask you, just the atmosphere out there, because golf is kind of solitude in a way. We see the pros, and that's a kind of a different thing, but, you know, people that hadn't seen much golf, you look out, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, just tromping down the fairways and the roughs. What was that like for you and your guys?
Well, that was really the most special thing about the week. They've had the championship on television the last few years, which is great. But if you're on TV playing, you don't know you're on TV. If you're playing in front of people, that changes everything. You get to perform. Our guys don't usually fist pump. You saw some emotion out of them, and what a treat to get to play in front of family and friends for all of us, me included. My family doesn't usually get to be there, and my wife and kids got to be there, which was awesome.
More than 3,000 tickets sold for that last day alone, and who knows how many, probably near 5,000 when you count all the volunteers and everything. All right, this is the 11th national championship in school history, and the first one in 12 years. So with the depth that you have on this team, the question had been brought up, or at least one of your players. Let's hear from Zach Boshu here, because he says this is the best team in Oklahoma State history.
I remember talking to Coach Holder after we lost the Big 12, and I said, Coach, we're still the best team Oklahoma State's ever had. He said, no, you're not. But I told him, hey, after we win the national championship, we'll go out to have lunch and we'll talk about it.
All right, you got about 30 seconds here to give your thoughts on this, too, because you played for Coach Holder. You know all the talent that's been through there. Is Zach just kind of being Zach in a way, or is there something to it?
I think he really believes that. That's a question you really can't answer, but you guys are asking the question. So I would say in a case like this, if somebody's asking you the question, I'm honored that you asked, because you must have done something pretty good if somebody wants to bring that up.
And what a week, and even more than that, you had the Driven with Ricky Fowler, then you rolled the table. Outstanding run. Congratulations, Coach, for your 11th.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm glad we wrote the end of that script in orange.
Absolutely.